Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So what I'm going to be doing is redoing this painting. Now you guys know my family and I love the thrift stores, the Goodwill, all that kind of stuff. And we go there and they sell some of the stuff that they find on our KED collectibles on eBay if you're interested. However, I found this and I'm going to repaint it. I love it and it was $3.99. Look at that. But I love, look how pretty the frame is. But I'm not digging this. It looks like it's seen better days. So I'm going to repaint it. So all I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put some gesso down. I'm going to use just folk art gesso. And once I gesso this out, I almost thought to keep this as part of the layer, and I might, but I'm going to do a thin coat and just on certain parts because it is kind of a really cool background. And I think I want to do something going this way or maybe something abstract. Haven't quite decided, but I will be back when the gesso is dry. Okay, so I'm going to speed through a lot of this and I'll try to do some voiceover. But all I'm using is this folk art sponge. I love it. I use it when I do big canvases. And I just threw down some gesso, just to kind of blot some of that out. And I'm going in with some pink, and it's called Bright Pink from Folk Art, and I'm mushing that around. You're going to see, I'm going to, I'll add a little bit of music coming up. I know I sped this up and a lot of you guys don't like it like this, but I'm going to try to, the last part of this I'll be talking through as well. Plus there's other parts in here where I talk as I do it. It's just some of these parts are boring and it ended up being like almost 2 hours, if not more. And I edited some of it out. And I didn't think that anybody would be interested in a 2-hour video from me. So I just thought I'd try to do this. All I'm showing is you take another piece of paper, printer paper is great. And when you stamp something, just, because I don't necessarily need it all on here. You can see I'm doing bright colors. But I just put that paper down to pick up some of the extra ink and it starts another mixed media paper for you. So, that's always a lot of fun. And I love a twofer, 2 for 1. Whether it's on my paintings or in the dollar store or in the Walmart, I'm not ashamed. I shop there. So yeah, so I'm just taking paper doilies, which you could get at the dollar store now. And I just glued them down and it's just some pictures. I have some scrapbook paper and I just dug these little into birds lately right now. And I, these little bird cages and that word, which is, what word is that? Let me see. Cherished. That word says cherished. Up in the right hand corner says smile. And that's just little, like a little clock and, cute little things. I really like the way this came out. I did brighter colors, of course, even though I'm going to be doing some with dark, but I like the way it came out. So I'm not too upset about it with the bright colors because it's going to be up in my foyer, so it's not like you can really see it like really, really close, which makes it kind of good too if I don't, necessarily do as good as I want to or love it as much as I want to, which I ended up loving it anyway. You'll see at the end. I changed a lot of the things at the end, which you will see. So I'm going to be back to talking live and working, I believe. All right, so you can see I did all this and I just added like a few layers. I added the paint. You can still see some of the background. I added stamps. I added these little doilies. I added some paper. I added some glitter. I kind of did it in a way where sometimes when I do mixed media, I do it just willy-nilly. I just put things down with no rhyme or reason, and I just work each step as I see fit, I guess, or as I want to do. This one, not that I really have a plan, but I kind of left this area open. hopefully maybe some of these words will stick out. I'm going to try. I'm thinking about putting her head here and then having her go this way. I was going to do this abstract, but I changed my mind. So what I like to do is take a piece of printer paper and judge pretty much. I've done this drawing a million times, but you know, judge kind of where I'm going to be. So I'm going to obviously need 2 pieces, and I'm just going to lay it there, and then I'll just do a little squinch right here, a little squinch, or my nail or whatever, just so I have an idea of where it ends. And then I'm going to draw. So I will take my pencil. Come here, pencil. Come here, pencil. I don't know if this would make it better or not. Let's see. We shall see. Okay. So I know her body's going this way, so I'm going to do, we'll do like, and this is just a general, I'm going to do it, you know, draw it better. It's just kind of planning it out. I just want her to be like an angel, like that. I don't know how well you can see that. So those will be her wings, and then we'll go up this way. Kind of her neck. She doesn't have a football neck like me, but we'll just do that. And then we'll do around. We'll make her folk arty, so we'll give her her head. And of course, you know, she's only going to have one side, so this makes it a lot easier for people who are nervous. No, she doesn't have a nose. She could be looking at us, so I don't exactly know what I'm going to do yet. But, you know, if you're a little bit more nervous, because a lot of people don't like to do the full frontal. But I say, hey, if you got it, flaunt it, right? All right, so kind of like that. And then we'll give her hair floating in the air. Yeah, something like that. I mean, I know it looks ridiculous, right? But it gives me an idea of where to start and what to do. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I will just paint over what I just did. I can edit it, I can draw it out, I can paint over it, I can do whatever I want. Or I will paint it on to the canvas or whatever you're using. Now, if I do it on here and paint it and everything, it'll be much more opaque, which means when I go to put it on here, you're not going to be able to see any of the underneath, which might be something you want to do. Nothing wrong with whatever way you want to do it. So I think, which I do both ways. Sometimes I'll sit and draw and then I'll cut it out and glue it on. And I'm thinking about waxing this with wax. Obviously wax. What else would I use? So yeah, I think I'm gonna just go with this, edit it, and we'll then glue it on when I'm done. So I don't know how much I will keep of me talking because I get tired of hearing myself talk the same thing over and over. I can only imagine how bored you guys get. So I'm going to dry this, whatever the heck that was. And we'll start with her face, since I already know. And I will go in and erase. Oh, where's my good eraser? And then I'm going to decide. Now, because she's going to be a folk art girl, it doesn't matter. I'm not going for realism, which I never ever do. But, so I'm not going to worry too much, like how much, like, do I want her having both eyes? Because we can do both eyes looking at us and then draw her face and she's just like, hey, how you doing? So that could be something we do as well. So let's try that. And I'll just take off this hair. That's why sometimes I don't do hair, because hair changes once it's on, you know, your substrate, whatever you're gluing her on or drawing her on. Or I change hair all the time, or I use the same hair. And then like the 50th time, I'm like, why did I use the same hair? Now, little things, little things. You can use a lid or something if you want a perfect circle. You'll just go around. I can't even draw a perfect circle when I'm trying, when I'm tracing something. That's all right. So then you can see, got the circle. And we'll make her face coming this way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. You don't have to. I'm going to lightly do the halfway, or pretty much halfway. And then I'll do an eye here. So I just kind of do like an eyelid. And then an eyelid. All right. And then take some of that off. Do your eye. Whatever shape you want. That's why I like doing odd girls, because my stuff never matches and it goes uphill and it's all over the place. But it's all right, because I've learned to accept that for the most part. Why does that look over here? As I say, I learned to accept that. There we go. And I'll play with that more. And then we could do a little nose, and you can just do a little boopy. You don't have to do anything fantastical. And then we can do a little lip. So make your line go across, and then do a little V, a little mustache. Just bring it down. And give her a little lip. And that's kind of where we'll leave it for now. And then I can still go in here and I'll edit this a little bit, because we know where our neck goes. So I'll just kind of do like that. And then do her neck up like that. So where her dress starts here. Does that make sense? All right. So now what I shall do, I'm going to erase these lines. I like to go a little lighter when it is, when I like to do the angels. I started out years ago doing commissions and all kinds of stuff where I would do the angels and, you know, little folk art angels and all that kind of stuff. So there's a million different ways that I do these. I like to do them with a light face, but I don't know. And you can really go crazy. You could do any color you want. You want to make her an alien? Go for it. It's your little girl. What color? I guess I'll just go with my regular porch. Is this light flesh? Yeah. You can add a little white in it, because this is a little peachier than I want. I kind of want that. So maybe I'll mix a little bit with some white paint or gesso. It doesn't matter. We're not going to get into that debate today. White paint or gesso, are we? A little brush. A little brush. And then I'll just scoop some and mix it. Now here's where an issue can come up. I mix, and then if I have to go back and touch up, I'm like, well, what color was it? So sometimes it's better. Now, AC Moore's going out of business, so I went there, and you can get these at the dollar store too. I picked them up, and I'll talk about AC Moore in a minute, but I don't know what I did with them. Where are they? Luna, get out of here. I don't know what the heck I did with them. Oh, here they are. These little plastic jars, because I like to mix my flesh paint, my flesh colored paints, and I've been doing that a lot lately. So I bought those just to mix. So maybe I could have mixed that in there, and then if I had extra, right? And I'm going over I'm going to try to stay in the circle, but you don't have to, because remember, we'll do hair, and we're going to cut her out anyway. There we go. Boop, boopy doop. Look at that. And then I'm going to go in for her neck. I'm overshooting because I know I'm going to cut it out. And maybe I want the neck a little bit thicker, but if I don't, I just follow the line. Okay, so I have that. Just smooth that out a minute. And then for the legs. Now I will cut these out and I'll probably make them, look at me, how good I paint. I'll probably make them like a little design, maybe a little bit longer. I might not even keep them flesh color. Luna, get out of there, please. Go. I'm so sorry. I apologize, this dog. But I'm going to overshoot it again, and I don't even know if I'll keep it this color. And yet she goes underneath my legs again. Okay. There we go. You see I'm being very, you know. Now, while this stuff dries, and I check if I need more face paints, let me talk about AC Moore. So AC Moore, if you are in the States, most, I guess, places have AC Moore. I don't know. Maybe it's a Jersey thing. I don't know. They're going out of business. That includes Blitzy, which you all know I love me some Blitzy. That includes Blitzy went out of sale, out of business. Nicole Crafts, who makes all like the extra Cricut stuff where you could get it like $4 cheaper, everything like that, all going out of business. So of course, where do we go? I go to the AC Moore. I have 3 or 4 around me. So I went to the first one that I normally go to, and they didn't have too much. But I picked up a few things. You know, I love to do jewelry and stuff, so I picked up some stuff, but they didn't have too much. Went to another one, another different day. They had a lot of stuff, picked it up. Got in the car after I bought the stuff and thought to myself, and I think Emily and David said this too, it's just like sale prices. There's nothing that much cheaper if you go. Now, the jewelry they had like 70% off, and I think it's because they have so much stock coming from the warehouse because their warehouse is here in Jersey. You know, so that you can get beads and all because they have a shit ton of beads. Like, I mean, so many beads, strings, and all that kind of stuff. So, but when I left, I thought to myself, wow, because I got a little bit of birthday money, and I thought I could have had Dave go in, me go in, and Emily go in with a coupon and bought, do you know what I mean? This from Michael's cheaper because you get 50% off, 40% off. Some things were only 25% off. But you get caught up in the fact of like, oh, you know, now granted, if you get to go walk in AC Moore and you're able to, and it's not a big deal, walk around, spend the time because you will find things you might be interested in that you wouldn't buy elsewhere. Or didn't think because they're like mushing everything and together and that kind of stuff. But you know, I walked out and I was like, oh, poop. I should have, what was I even thinking? Not that I won't go back because I will, but I'm just saying, just be careful. Just be careful. Okay, so we got her good there. So I'm going to close this. That was my little story. It was really nothing exciting. But it is the truth. You get so excited going in, seeing everything 25% off. 25% off, that's great. And then you go and you pick it up. And what the heck? Oh, I know what I wanted. I want one of those leather punches that it's like that big spiky thing, right? And it has like 3 or 4 sizes like this. And it was like $30 or something, but it was only 25% off, and I was going to buy it because I thought, oh. And then when I thought of it, I was like, well, crap, I can just go to Michael's and use a 50% off coupon and get it. So like that kind of thing, right? And if Dave wasn't with me, I wouldn't think of these things. I would be poor. Poorer than I am. So, because I just, you know, oh, that's what I want. Okay, so now the wings. And I'm going to go in just with white. Now, why am I painting this on here rather than, and I'm not even going to wash my brush off. I'm just kind of mushing it a little bit just to get some of that off. I'm painting this because you don't have to. You could cut this all out, glue it on, and do your thing. But because I'm using printer paper to paint on and to use as my little girl, it's a little flimsier than if you're using watercolor or mixed media. Now you can, it doesn't mean you can't paint it, but, um, oh, okay, good. And so I like to paint it because it gives it a little bit of, is girth the word? I don't think girth is the word. Gives it some, you know? And also what I'll do is I'm going to paint this, just the rest of this paint, because I'll paint over it and do a color or a design. Take a little bit of the skin color. Oh my gosh. Okay. We're done. I'm going to let this dry and she will be cut out when I get back. Okay, so you can see I glued her on. And if you want to know something funny, I did not use anything. I used my artist varnish to glue her on. And this is a tip that I learned from Plaid. One of the, it's Paint with Plaid, I think it's called. He does Andy Jones is his name. And this is what he uses to glue his stuff down sometimes. And I had it on my brush because I was finishing another video. Look at this, how pretty this came out. That gold. Oh, so anyway. And I had it on there and I was like, oh yeah, he said we could use that. So I did, and it worked perfectly. And it sealed it. So now I can work on top of it, which Mod Podge seals it as well. But I mean, why waste it? I use my little, this is like a Chinese or Japanese little sake cup or something, and we got it in a set at the thrift store. They sold it. So this one was broken. I kept it because there was 5, I think, of these, and so they sold 4 in the little pourer thing. So Emily's like, do you want this for anything? And I was like, yeah. So I'm using it. Okay, so I glued this down. Now you can see I have some bubbles. Now, some of this is texture from underneath. You know, I did squish them out. I don't care because I got a little texture here, but that's going to go into her hair. You know, you could be very, this happens whether you use Mod Podge or what have you. It picks up the bumps underneath. And because I'm using printer paper, it got thin and did the wrinkles. I don't care. So you can see she's on there. I also use some of the folk art texture paint, which you can use modeling paste, molding paste, whatever you call it. You can just use thick paint. You can use gesso. And I just painted it on the wings to give some texture. And then I'll go over that with white. I'm going to draw her face on. And then I'm going to give her some funky little legs probably. I love this corner here. So I wanted to make sure that I kept this as much as I could. And the word smile and the word cherished. So, you know, I'm kind of, my placement was more, I guess, I was more choosy with it than I would, you know, than sometimes I normally am. So I'm going to take a pencil. And what pencil am I going to use? I don't know if I want to use a Stabilo. No, I'm just going to use my, I don't know what the heck this is. I have so many 4B. I don't know why it's 4B, but it is. Let me see how it writes. Yeah, very light. I love it. Okay. So, of course, she's going to be a folk art girl. And I know I'm a little off. Am I never off? Am I ever on? So I'm going to do the, you know, just sketch out kind of how I want the face. So you can make her more realistic. You can make her, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm feeling kind of an odd girl going. And so I think I'm going to start, I always say think. I'm going to go the eyebrows here. Not worrying too much. And very lightly because I'm going to be painting, you know, over it. And I'm going to bring this down as her nose. We're going to make her more. And I'm going to paint. Definitely going to paint. But I want to give it like a. And I could change this. You don't have to do it this way. Okay. Nose. Do I want the nose down further? I don't know. I'll see. And then I'll put in her eyes. And I'm just going in. I'm not going to measure or, You know, isn't that the funniest thing when you do that and you don't measure? It's when everything is like lines up. Mine's never going to line up. Let's face it, people. I do have my stencil that I made if I wanted it to. If you guys didn't see this video, where let's say I wanted probably more of this eye, so I could line it up and, you know, go in more of, so they're kind of even and on point. But since we're doing an odd girl, we're not caring. But anyway, you do that and you could do the eyebrows and all that. I'm going to make stencils of this. Quite a few of you have emailed me and said that you would be interested. So I'm going to make them. If not, you know, whatever. But I think they're helpful. Definitely helpful for me when I'm trying to be a little bit more on point. So I'm going to bring this down a little bit more. Okay. Why is she getting quiet? Because she's in her head. And that's a dangerous place to be. Okay, so I have that. So I'm going to take some gesso. Of course, you can use white paint. This is just sitting here, and I'm kind of mushed into a corner because that's just how I do things. I'm going to take a little brush that obviously has a bigger brush stuck to it. Because, again. And then I'm going to go in here and paint with the gesso the white of the eye. Just a very light coat. Not going to worry too much about it. Oh, this chair. I think it's been 3 years of a squeaky chair. Every time I move, my big butt's like, woohoo. Chair likes my butt. All right. Gotta watch what I say. Although I'm not for kids, but okay. Very cute. So I'm going to take a little bit of this gesso and just kind of, I'm going to place it here to whiten it a bit. I believe I'm going to do some gold glitter in her wings, which I am not necessarily, I'm more of a silver girl myself. However, I think there is a place, a time and place for gold, and that will be what this is. So I'm going to, I'll do some gold glitter. Look at me. And it's all right. You just kind of lick your finger and wipe it off. Oh God, that's what she said. I couldn't help it. It was right there. Okay. Okay. Just to give it, you see how much it made it just a little bit whiter. A little bit. What the heck is that even doing on here? I don't know. Okay. Where the heck did this come from and why is it on here? Maybe it needs to be on here. The universe put this on there. The blue thread, which I'm really not fond of. But I don't know. Might have to be, come on there, thread. I have to put that on there. I don't know. All right, so just wipe whatever I have left. Again, you can paint with markers, you can paint with pens, you can, you know, use whatever you have that you want to work with. I'm going to go in with my asphaltum because I love it, but it's just a brown. And I'm going to shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Like a Polaroid picture. I can't really sing it, but you know what I'm saying. And I'm just putting it just on the tip. Can't, Kelly. And I'm going in straight. I'm not worrying how the eyebrows go. Because I can go back in with the face paint, the face color, and fix it. But I want you to see something. Here I did a little scribbles, and I'll have to lift this up for you to see, which I will in 1 second. And what I love is when I'm doing these are just little tips I'm giving you. You do you know what I'm saying? But let me show you. Let me know down below. I have I went to the Wiccan store the other day, and I got some new candles, creativity candles. I got anyway. It doesn't matter. But I don't know if you guys want to know how I cleanse and charge them, or it doesn't interest you. I don't know if you could see this. Can you see those little pencil marks of the hair in there? Anyway, there's pencil marks of the hair. And I like that. And I've been doing that a lot lately. Because it just gives a little more texture to your piece. And I could have even made it thinner, you know what I mean? But I'm not worried about that. I'll go clean all that up. I'm trying to think where I want to go from here. Okay, my video is almost done. I gotta upload. I don't know why. I don't know if it's my internet or what. It was taking forever to upload. So, do you get 2 videos today? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so anyway, I want to do a light lip. I don't think I'm going to do the lip yet, though. And I think I might do her little cheeks. I didn't know. I'm going to go in with some happy green because I am happy. And, of course, because Emily has green eyes, and I try to do green eyes when I can. And I am making this background a happier background. And I am going to hang this in my foyer. So I'm keeping it a little bit lighter. Look at that. She's like, oh, girl, please. But that's all right. Because we're going to do some things. Again, odd girl, not worried. Even, not even. What are we doing? I don't know. I might even paint a blue eye and a green eye. We never know. I could not have gotten those circles any more circular if I used a stencil and tried. Because it wouldn't. It would have still been screwed up, but I got 2 nice circles there. What is my life today, huh? You just take it when you can get it, right? And I'm taking it. Okay. Just getting a little dab in there for Angie. Always got to do with the dab. Dab, 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 dab for Angie. Okay, so, and I like how that has a little bit of the lighter in there, lighter color, because sometimes I like to take a little of the darker color. Another obsession of mine is Prussian blue. Don't ask. Okay. As they say, don't hate, appreciate. I might go in with just the littlest dab. Will do ya. Teeny little dab. Let's see. Oh yeah. And take it around just to give it a little bit more. Okay. Now, I'm just going to squish that down there on the thing, and then I'm going to go around and like blend it a little bit. Just in the inside, because I can add more green. I'm not worried about that. I just want one to be a little darker than the other. So. Okay, now because I use this Prussian blue, not much of it, and who knows, I might use more. I might do stripes down here. I might outline her. Who knows? I don't want to add it anywhere. Usually I like to add, like they say, like the rule of 3, so to say, but I really don't want to do that right now, and I'm not. I don't follow the rules. Although I might make her dress. I want something to stick out. All right, so her hands are going to go. Let's start down here. Maybe I'll just blend this down here. Put it on the legs. I don't care. I will fix it. We'll just make this a little darker. Has anybody watched You on Netflix? Oh, we watched it when it first came out, the first season. Now I have 2 left of the 2nd season, but I just wonder if anybody's watched it. No, don't tell me no spoilers. Just tell me what you think, and tell me which season you like better. I definitely liked season 1 better so far, but I like them both. Okay, See how I just kind of clean my brush off on there? And you can go and it grasps on all those texture bits. And I just enjoy that a little bit, but look at me. Okay, so I kind of dig that. We might bring that up a little bit and do like a ombre kind of thing. Let's try it. Dun, 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 dun. Let's go. Could have put some glazing medium. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? I didn't. And then bring it up, 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 bring it up. You know I'm going to outline her because I love outlining. And I got to add arms somewhere. Probably there. I don't know where. But I'm just going to do this. I can paint the arms over. It's not too dark. I'll just give it a little blend. Oh, why did I miss this whole side is my question. So excited about the TV show You, the Netflix show. I'll show you what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to get all this, even though, like I said, I'm going to trace outline or whatever the heck it's called. Okay, so you see, got that, not a big deal. I'm going to take the tiniest bit of gesso or white, just happen to have my gesso sitting here because I used it. If you saw the lids of my paint, they're like a million different colors. It's because that's where I go in at. And I'm just going to put this over here to bring it down lighter. Right now she looks like she might have is tripping too hard or a little zombie-like. Okay. Okay, so here's what I did. I just kind of outlined the eyelids a little bit. I went in with my folk art light flash, touched up, you know, around the face, that kind of thing. Did the lips a little bit. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna forward through me just outlining and kind of doing. And what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna stick with this brown, the asphaltum. I think I'm gonna do as her hair. I think I might do bangs. I don't know, like short bangs. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet, but I'm gonna forward through all that because this video is getting long, and then you know, I'll be back at the end. This, I love the glitter. I'm gonna see once these are outlined if I like this a little bit better or if I want to push back some of the glitter with some more white. I don't know yet, but and I'm gonna put on just her some nice little brown little shoes, I think. So I'm gonna do all that and then I'll be back when she's dry. Okay, so you can see this is where she's at, and like I said, she's gonna be, I've been having a lot of problems with my hands lately, so in my brain I had December was a really rough month and it's not left up yet, so you know, I'm not beating myself up for this. Sherry, that's that's after you give me, you know, some advice. But what I am gonna do is, you see how these wings are? I think I'm gonna take a little gesso. How annoying is that when I say I think and then I go do it? I'm gonna put a little bit and I'm just gonna dab it. Nothing too, come on there. Nothing too much, but I don't want it to be so concentrated. That glitter is gorgeous, and I'm like, oh, I can use it for so many other things. But I don't want it so concentrated. I want to go out to the thrift stores and have paint all over my hands. That's all I do. I paint on my shirts. And I have my eating shirt, I call it. Where when I eat like hoagies or anything I know, wings, I put it on because I end up dripping grease or whatever all over it. Anyway, not important. Things you just don't need to know about me, right? Okay, so you see that. I want to put a highlight in her eye. And I'm going to lift this up so you can see it a little bit better if you're interested. But I just love doing little highlights. You could do it in the lips or whatever. I was going to write words, but I don't think I'm going to because I do love cherished and I do love smile. I don't know. I love the way this looks. So why is my camera? I must have hit it. So I have that, and you can highlight wherever you want. Like I said, she's going to be up on the wall. Now, what I am going to do, I'm going to take some of my Treasure Gold, which is my new favorite obsession. And this is gold, but it comes in a million different, not a million, it comes in like 4. But like you get copper, you know, vintage gold, all that kind of stuff. And because it's water soluble and all, I can just kind of dip it in, my finger in. I mean, look at this. It's gorgeous. And I'm going to wipe it on the frame. Now, I was going to do, I'll have to see. Right now, I want to do this because I think I might do the, I want to see how this comes out. And I don't need it to be, like, I want some of that old frame to show through the lighter. And if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But, I mean, this is how great this stuff is. And it just changes it. So I want the lights, like when it's up on the wall, it to be a little, you know, just have a little bit of gold. Oh, nope, don't need that little dried piece there. Or I could glue it in there. Maybe I will. I don't know what I do with it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll just put him right there and glue him on when I'm done. Okay, you can just get off there. And I have these like little balls at the bottom, like this texture, which I'll show you in a second, that I'm going to run my finger on so it can catch. And you don't have to run your finger, you know, and make it as sheer as I'm making it. You could just tap it on. I mean, it's yours. Do what you want. Okay. And I'll show you this when I lift it up to show you. Just taking my finger, running it on the texture to get it all off. Oh, I love this stuff. I want to grab another color for something I'm doing next, but for now, it just gives you that delightfulness. Okay. Now, what I do want to do is, I'm gonna take a small brush and just a little dab. Oh, I got some gold on my arm. And I want to drag, let me see, I just want to like kind of get that off, but I don't want to waste it. I just want a little bit of gold in the eyes because my daughter has that little bit of gold flecks. Just on the side there. Okay. And then I was thinking about going down in her hair, like going down in her hair. Oh, that's what she said. Putting some highlights in her hair with the gold. Okay, so while I have this out, I'm going to put this back here so it doesn't spill, but I'm going to turn this so you guys can see. I'm going to put that in her hair, I think. And you can see it's shiny, but it has this really cool texture. And it's still in decent shape. It's not like it's horrible, but just to bring some of this gold, I like to just, because I'm just going to lightly touch that texture that's, like I said, I want them lights to, and then you can see here. And I can even put it in here if I want. I want when the lights to hit it, just for it to look, I don't know, a little richer, you know? And like I said, this was $3.99, and it's just my art on it. You're not gonna be able to see this, but you're gonna know what I'm doing. You know, it's not the best thing in the world. It's not my worst art in the world, but it's my art, and it's gonna be up there, and that's what I like. Like I said, I could roll in this liquid gold stuff, treasure gold. And a little bit on here. I think you get, yeah, just like it. I like the streaks. Now I'll have it up on the wall and be like, oh, I should have done more. Just like blend, and you can blend it with your finger. It will shear out. And again, you can use this on glass, plastic, whatever you want. Okay. So now I'm gonna go in and do some, I think, some gold highlights in her hair. Okay, so here we are at the end. You're gonna see me changing that a bit. So I'm gonna, you know, just talk you through it. I did do the gold highlights, and then I ended up not liking them. So you'll see me go over them at the end. But overall, when I was finished with her, once I kind of edited it a little bit, you're gonna hear my puppy crying. You know, she turned out pretty good. I just, like I said, I did this for myself, and I usually don't record these, but I know a lot of you like to see them, and you know, I figured if you want to watch it, it's here, and if not, then you don't have to. And I'll, you know, I won't be doing it right this second, but I'll be taking a picture once it's up in the foyer. I do have another video coming up of a more of a, I don't want to say darker painting, but it's because it's a girl, but it's the colors are darker and she has dark eyes and dark hair. And I'll put that video up of me doing her too. I have to finish her a little bit, but she came out really cool. I like her. Just gotta, do a few things. I'm gluing a little, little plastic flower in her hair because I dig it. And I was gonna put the lace down, but then I just didn't necessarily want it there. And then I was thinking, like, on my little, I want to call her goth girl, but I thought, oh, that would be a pretty necklace. I don't know. We'll see. So now I'm doing her arms, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, Kelly, what even are you doing? Why are they back like that? And why does it look like they're broke? So now you can see I took them off that way, and I just drew them going forward because she's flying in the air. And now I'm just painting them with, flesh colored paint. Now let me just tell you something, and I'm ashamed to say this, but I'm going to share with you because I know a lot of you go through what I go through. I have a lot of it's medication, a lot of it's illness, some of it's age, I believe. But I made my nephew a rag quilt for Christmas of all his old t-shirts. And I was having the worst time. It just was not coming out. It wasn't laying flat. It was just awful. So I knew that he would use it anyway, and he would love it no matter if it was crappy or not. Not crappy, but you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't what I wanted. But, so I gave it to him. Not proudly, but I gave it to him. He loved it. He was sick the other day using it. Great. So when I was doing it, I kept saying, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? And couldn't figure it out. The other day, I'm sitting here and I was doing something completely random, nothing to do with that. And I realized that I did the whole freaking thing wrong. The way I sewed it, I wanted, oh my God, if I could just take it apart and redo it, I would. And I might take it from him and sit and just cut it all apart and do it again, because I'm so ashamed of myself, because I've made many, haven't made them in years, but I've made many of them. And for whatever reason, my brain would not work. And I mean, I have a lot going on, but I did it completely wrong, and I'm so ashamed, so ashamed. But I mean, hey, that's life, right? He likes it. That's all that's important. But, sometimes I'm like, oh, I wonder if he'll give it back and let me rip it apart and redo it. So I figure, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get some other fabric of superheroes or whatever, and then I'll just make it the right way for him, and then he'll have 2 blankets. Do you know what I mean? So, but I was just like, when I realized what I did, I was like, oh, Kelly. Anyway, so you can see here, I'm just kind of going over. I put some of the holographic glitter in now over the gold. The gold was way too much for me. I am not a gold person, but it's all mixed in now and it looks good, so I'm not mad at it. And I added some of that holographic around the whole thing. And I'm just kind of finishing her up. There's the holographic glitter you're going to see. And you can see it's gorgeous. Yeah. And I did the light color flesh to mark out, the dark color flesh to mark out where I wanted the arms. And then I went in with a little bit of the white to lighten them up a little bit. And I'm just putting some of the glitter on the dress and all that kind of stuff. Because then when it's way up on the the wall and the light hits it, you'll be able to see some of it. And then you're going to see I take Van Dyke Brown and I go over her hair because I hated it. I hated it because it looked so much better in person when I was looking at it, but on camera I hated it, even though it's going to be hanging up. I figure, if any of the gold comes through, I don't know. I should have probably either committed and did the whole hair gold or not. So I just did the brown over it, and I like it. Oh, I like it a lot. But that's all today on this one. I'll probably put up the other one too. It's probably going to be kind of the same video. Speed through, talk, that kind of thing. But as always, please be kind to each other. You never know what battle somebody else is fighting. This week I'm going to work on going live and trying to figure it out. So keep an eye out because I'll be going live if you are interested. And I love you guys so very much. Thanks for being so supportive, so loving. And just when you watch my videos and leave comments, it just makes me happy. Bye, guys.